So good afternoon and welcome to The Social. This is a very exciting show for me to be a part of because my practice fits very well within the concept and the theme of this exhibition. The Social aims to pull a whole lot of young emerging artists together. My name's Jodie Whalen and the work I have in The Social is called Making Art Dreams a Reality Through an Educational Tour. And the title in itself is pretty much a very good description of the work. So for The Social, I have been giving educational tours of the show, which are also a performance that allows me to engage directly with the audience, and the audience to engage directly with the artist, which is me, the performer, and the work. These tours are filmed by me, so it's a one-woman show, and then those videos are placed back into the gallery space as documentative videos of the performance. I guess my career as a performance artist started about 3 years ago. I was really looking at how I could collapse what a contemporary art experience is for the audience, or what contemporary art is to a wider viewing audience. And I chose to use exercise, this really mundane ritual process that we're all very familiar with, we've all engaged with, and use those actions and that performance as a performance in my work. And in that way, I was hoping that a wider viewing audience would not necessarily understand what the process of making art is, but they do understand the process of getting fit and losing weight and doing exercise. So by replacing, I guess, something that might be quite foreign for a viewing audience, I put in something that they know better than I probably do. And these works, in order to, I guess, make them spectacular and lift them out of the mundane, became these endurance performances where I tested not only my physical capabilities, but my mental capabilities. And they became this artist's determination to not give up no matter what was kind of presented. So from there, my work has kind of developed to be more live performance based. So originally I would do these private performances that were filmed and then shown in a gallery context through video. I still thought that there was a barrier, and also performing with an audience really excites me. So then I started just doing these live performances where the viewers and the participants had a direct contact with me, which is what has been, I guess, the basis for The Social here. And in especially for making art dreams a reality through an educational tour, it depends. My performance depends on what viewers I have in front of me. So if the audience wants to participate, I feel that I give a greater performance, not just for me, but for the other artists that I'm representing. And then if I suppose the people aren't engaging with me, it really falls back on how well I'm able to perform and how well I'm able to continue the performance running when, quite frankly, my audience isn't interested in anything that I have to say. It's an interesting approach to art making, because especially for me, because I'm making it, but the way I construct work and my process doesn't happen in the studio. The concept will happen in the studio, and I'll work through all the ideas and nut it out as much as I can in my head. But the actual process of making happens right in front of the audience. So I've placed a lot of pressure on myself to perform best I can and make the work best I can while people are watching. Unlike other processes where the work is made in the studio and all the problems are worked out, and then the final product ends up on the walls of the gallery. My approach is kind of from the inside out, where that process and that making is happening while the viewer is experiencing the work, and I really don't get a final product until after the show has come down. So any problems or any anything that I'm experiencing while making the work is happening like right then and there, and it's exciting and it's a great way to work for me, but there are definite faults with it, so you know, it's a challenge. It's great.
When you talk about being accessible,
yeah,
who are you being accessible for?
I always have in my mind that my audience obviously is an educated art audience, but I always have done this as well, even when I was object making. I make works for my parents, and basically the whole like plethora of what my parents could represent or who they could be. They're not educated at all in anything that has to do with art. They find it quite an intimidating experience. And for me, whenever I'm making work, my idea of viewer is the general public, and it's like this art dream of mine that one day maybe I could engage, you know, the masses in what art is, and get them to love art as much as what I do. So audience, I mean, that's not the reality of my audience, although with commissions like this work for Campbelltown Arts Centre, they've been amazing in providing me with selected groups, community groups, some of which are experienced with the gallery experience, but others that they've sourced for me that have probably never experienced contemporary art before. So it's great for me to have an institution like this provide an element of my work for me that I think is key to my work. It's an imagined audience. I mean, I suppose every artist dreams of reaching the masses. It kind of fits in with my whole concept of making art, the mundane, the everyday. You know, this idea of reaching a lot of people is a shared dream amongst, I suppose, everyone. But the reality of my audiences are that they are quite educated art audiences, and I think they do appreciate what I'm trying to achieve.